What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chips and Slips, where we make y'all some money, man. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Uh,
hopefully we have a good week. Last week we had good reads. It just didn't work out in our favor, I promise. I'm talking about some late covers by teams, some garbage time touchdowns. It was an all-time bad beat. Oregon
yeah.
State is officially on the ban list for
Oh, they're
Carlos.
banned. They are banned. They would never. I will never bet anything either for them or against them. They're completely banned on both sides of it. Done with. Over. I picked money line twice, and they're 0-2. I
hmm
think I picked them to cover on one of them, and they couldn't. Malik Murphy threw like a late pick or something. Something
hmm
happened. They were down by like two, and they just had to go kick a field goal. And then he throws a pick six. Like, come on, man. But anyways,
Yeah.
we're back with another episode with the boys. Looks a little different this time. We're having some technical difficulties, but we still got to get the episode out to you, lovely girls and boys across the world.
Consistency always. Consistency always.
Yes, sir.
So, without further ado, this episode is brought to you by Novig, the sports betting app built for smarter, sharper wagers. If you're ready to take your sports betting game to the next level, download Novig today. And for all-time first-time users, use the code OPM at sign up to get 10% off your deposit up to
Get you
$100.
some
That's code
monies.
OPM. Bet smarter with Novig. This is a sports book that is, legal in states. So if you want to get in on some of these plays, some of these spreads, overs, money lines, use the code OPM and start playing this weekend. But you guys know how we're rocking on the show. This is our pick'em show. We're gonna give you guys some nice bets, some wagers, and also just me and Carl's straight up picks for the weekend. We actually have a loaded slate of college football this weekend, so me and Carl's are both very, very excited for this one. But we're gonna start it off. First game is on a Friday. This is that Big 12 after dark. It's that Friday Big 12, and we're gonna start it off with the Colorado Buffaloes going to the Houston Cougars. Carlos, who you got?
Hey, man, I got Houston to win. I got Houston to cover. I got Joseph Williams over 34 and a half receptions. Look, it's going to be sunny out there, man. And it's gonna turn into nighttime. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be humid. They're in Houston. I don't know if they're up from the elevation up there in the coolness. I don't know if the boys of Colorado are ready for this. It's gonna be 92 degrees. You know how it get down in Houston, Cam. According to you, that's your second home. So you
Hey
know
man, I
how
love
you
me
know how
H Town.
nice and hot and muggy it gets down there, man. I just don't think them boys are prepared. I got Houston. I got Houston to cover.
Yeah,
Joseph
I'm
Williams
right there.
over 34 and a half receptions. If you want to go ahead and take that prop, Connor Webman, go ahead and find that man.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. I got Houston to win, and I also got Dean Connors over 1.5 receptions running back from Houston. So I look for him to easily, get that, a couple checkdowns, a couple screen plays, and just add that into your parlay, into your slip. On to the next game. First kickoff of the Lotus slate on Saturday. We got Clemson going on the road, going to Atlanta, playing Brent Key. Big time matchup in the ACC. Clemson versus Georgia Tech. I got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I think they're going to take care of business. I got them. I got Clemson on upset alert. Clemson hasn't been looking too hot the last couple of weeks. Obviously, they lost to LSU. The game against Troy was a struggle. And they're just not looking like the team that a lot of people, me and Carlos and the national media, thought they would be. So, with that being said, a prop I got for you guys is Haynes King over 11.5 rushing attempts. This is going to be a game where they're going to rely on his legs. They're going to use him. It's a big time win. So I look for Georgia Tech to use all the stops, and he's one of their best players on the team. So I love for him to get a lot of action in this game.
The weather's gonna be perfect over there, man. Sunny, 79 degrees, perfect football weather. So that means that's a perfect game to Clemson to win. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect game. They got to bounce back. They look sloppy the first two games. Um, Georgia Tech's obviously a team that can beat them. They're a team that's built to ruin your season. They're not
hmm
built to like con- contend for the conference championship or the college football playoff, but they're built to ruin your season. And I
hmm
don't think that's the case here. I think Dabo gets them in line. You know, the media's been talking about them a lot, so obviously they don't want that going around. But I got Clemson to win, and also have Cade over 250 and a half passing yards. He's gonna have to throw that thing, especially if you're thinking Georgia Tech's gonna win. So for you, they're gonna be playing from behind. But for me, I think they can't run the ball. So there's only one other thing to do. That's throw that
Yeah.
thing.
Nah. I love it. I love the pick. I love the pick. You know, me and Carlos have been I've been picking more of the upsets lately this season. So we'll see if they go my way. I'm kind of making ground on Carlos, so we'll see. But next game on the list, we got Wisconsin going to Tuscaloosa to play Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. This is a big time matchup for both programs. Obviously, Alabama, they need this one after their loss. They got to keep building momentum. But Carlos, with that being said, who do you got in this matchup?
Hey man, roll Tide. I don't give a piss about nothing but Tide, man. It's not even gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly. Especially with their star player coming back, their best player on offense, probably the best player on the team, Ryan Williams, is coming out of concussion protocol and playing in this game. I've seen Wisconsin playing, and it's what you expect from Wisconsin. They don't score, they don't move the ball. So give me Bama. Give me Ryan Williams anytime touchdown.
I love it. I'm right there with you, man. I got Alabama to win. I got Alabama to cover, win big. And a player prop, Ryan Williams over 99 and a half receiving yards. Just a demon on prize picks. He's kind of had a slow start, didn't play well against Florida State, ended up getting a concussion and then missed last week. But I think there's going to be an active game plan to get him more involved this week, especially knowing that, hey, you're going to need this guy later on in the season if you want to contend for, an SEC championship or a playoff spot. So I look for them to get him the ball early and often in this matchup. Next game on the slate, we got USC. First time they're going to be like on national TV, going on the road to play in Indiana in Purdue. They're going to be playing the Purdue Boilermakers. I got USC. I don't think this game's going to be relatively close at all. Kind of stayed away from the spread. I thought it was a lot of points. It's a Big Ten game. They might slow it down, but USC, they look good so far. They haven't played a good team yet, and even it starts this week. This isn't even a good team as well. So we really won't have I guess, a gauge on USC until they start playing some of the harder competition. But you can kind of get a sense of how good they're going to be this year if they dominate this game. And with that being said, I got Mekhi Lehman over anytime touchdown. That dude's an explosive player for them, one of their best receivers, and I think he finds a way to get into the end zone this week.
Yeah, I'm right there with the USC all the way. If Lincoln wants to get back to that title contention, playoff contention, conference championship contention, I mean, it starts with these little games here, and you have to make a statement in proving that you can beat them in any form, shape, or fashion. I don't think it's going to be close. All too well, Lincoln Riley does like to run up the score. I don't remember what the over under was. I kind of stay away from high spreads unless I think it's like absurd. Just because it's scary, man. But they're both are possible, so I'm just like, all right, I'm staying away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got USC to win. I got Jacoby Lane Demon on the 69.5 reception yards. He's kind of seeming like the front runner, the wide receiver one over there, and that boy is cold, man. If you saw his touchdown last week, that one hander, you know what I'm saying, reaching out to the side touchdown.
I think last year too he had double-digit touchdowns. So that dude's a weapon. He's a good player. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do, what they look like. On to the next game. We got Miami playing against USF. This is a big time matchup. Obviously USF has won 2 crazy games in a row where they were not favored, and they're also going on the road to play Miami, who a team a lot of people are kind of high on after that Notre Dame game. So we'll see how they respond in a game like this. They got an opponent that is capable. But with that being said, Carlos, who you got?
I have Miami to win. Sorry, I'm looking something up right now.
No, you're good.
It's 4 hours and 36 minutes. So that's still a car ride away. I was looking up how far South Florida was from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in Tampa. So it's 4 hours and 36 minutes. So, it's a car drive,
Mm-hmm.
especially right now where they're undefeated 2-0, 2 upsets versus 2 ranked teams. Like, the fans are going to travel. The students are going to travel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be.
There's probably a lot of USF alumni live in Miami, I would assume,
It's not going to be a home game for Miami. But I do have Miami winning. And even though I just did say all of that, I'm backing the commissioner here. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. But he made good points. And I'm very, very easy to persuade. I got Miami to cover as well. I know I said ride the train till it stops, the Cinderella story. I don't know if we'll keep going here. I mean, if they somehow do win, you got to put them at number one, right?
You got to. You
Like
got
they
to. I
got to be the
mean,
best team in the country
that would be. I mean, they would have the best resume by far. They
by
would have to
far.
be in there,
Yeah,
and you just if you're ranking off a resume, they would have to at least be in the top five.
yeah,
I would say.
something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would love for them to win, but I just don't think they get it done here. But yeah, I got Miami to win, Miami to cover. I have Carson Beck, certified hater, yes sir, under 282.5 passing yards, and
Yeah.
scattered thunderstorms. Ball could be wet.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that, man. I got Miami to win. I got them to cover as well. I do think Brian Brown is a great quarterback, and I think they're going to be playing from behind. So look for him to put up a lot of yards, passing and running. He runs the ball well. I'm pretty sure he's going to be running early and often. I don't think their offensive line is going to be able to block Miami's front. Miami has a great front. So, look forward to be similar to that Florida game. He's going to have to make plays, but they're going to want to have a chance in this game. So they're going to rely on him. On to the next game.
Wait, do you think
Go ahead.
Miami's defense is better than Florida's defense?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. On to the next game. We got another SEC matchup, a big matchup really for Sam Pittman in Arkansas. But Arkansas's going on the road, going to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss just came off of a very tough game in Lexington, Kentucky, playing against Kentucky and Mark Stoops and them. And Arkansas looks good. If you guys listen to 54 yards, these teams have two of the most explosive offenses in the SEC and let alone the country right now. Obviously, they haven't played a lot of people, but Taylor Green has had a great start to his last season as a quarterback at Arkansas. So it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a fantastic game. With that being said, I do have Ole Miss winning, and I have Arkansas to cover. I think it's going to be close. I think Taylor Green makes it competitive. I think he keeps them in the game, but I think Ole Miss is just a little too much, especially being at home. And then the player prop I got for you guys, Taylor Green over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, you kind of have to love Ole Miss at home. I know they lost to Kentucky last year at home, but when they were at home, I mean, they typically beat the brakes off people. Unless it's one of the big names that they can never beat. But I got Ole Miss winning, and I actually have Ole Miss covering. It's something I've gone back and forth on for a while now. But I do think they do get it done. I do like Austin Simmons a lot, and I feel like he's a quarterback that's gonna keep growing as these games go on. And the more confident he plays, I think the better that team is. He trusts his arm a lot, which could be a good and bad thing, especially for a young guy. But
yeah, no doubt.
You kind of know all that too well. It's Spencer Rattler,
man.
But
do I?
It's something that this is a team that they should beat. This is a team that they should handle and take care of. You have Sam Pittman, who might not make it through the season. A lot of people called for his name already. He's the only reason he's kind of still there is because of the players. Players love him. Players want him there. So obviously they play their hearts out for them, but I just don't think it's enough. The player prop I have for you is Harrison Wallace over 69.5 yards.
I love it, bro. I love it. And yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Right there. He's going over 100 both games.
Yeah, and I'm excited, man. This is a game where, you guys play Arkansas, we play Ole Miss. This is a good little scouting game for us, just to kind of watch and see what we got to see, some better competition and things like that. But on to the next game. Another SEC game. The Florida Gators, after their, heartbreaking loss to USF, they go on the road and they go to Death Valley, play LSU, a team who is looking pretty hot right now. They kind of struggled last week against La Tech, but I think it was a look-ahead game for both teams. USF ended up clipping Florida. But this is a big-time matchup. Last year, this was kind of the Lagway coming out party game. This is the game where he, turned up and they ended up beating LSU at home last year. So, LSU, there's a lot of players on that team last year that lost that are on this team this year. This is a big game for Billy Napier just to kind of right the track. We talked about it on the pod. There's a chance for him to win games and improve, even after losing to USF. You got the teams in front of you that are hard that you got to play, but if you can knock them off, the USF game will be forgotten about. But unfortunately, I will be going with the LSU Go Tigers. Shout out to my sister. They're going to be there, and I think they're going to take care of business, man. I think LSU is going to turn up. The defense is a lot better than last year, and I think they get it done. and stayed away from the line. I don't know, just stayed away from the cover and all that. But a player prop I got for you guys is Jaden Baugh, the running back in Florida, over 75.5 rushing yards. I think Florida is going to need to get him involved more to kind of help Lagway open up some of that play action and also keep LSU's offense off the field.
That
So,
defense tough, man. Good luck. That defense
yeah,
is. I mean, I know they haven't played anybody great, and Clemson doesn't have a running back, but that defense looks completely different from what it did a year ago. Um,
100%.
hey, hope we get your people paid, man.
Man, I hope I do.
Uh, I got LSU winning as well. Another game that I went back and forth on. Um, I this is a tough one because I can always see both sides, and I think most people can, especially when it spreads like this low. But I end up picking LSU to cover as well. I feel like both the teams respond differently than last week, but I feel like the
Hmm.
response is a lot better from LSU than it is from Florida. I just don't think Florida has the personnel to match up with them offensively to go toe to toe. Do they have the quarterback to do it? Yes, but all around as a team, I don't think they can, just keep up with the firepower that LSU has. Um, Once LSU gets it going here, in general, they'll be fine for the rest of the season. They're gonna score some points. The big thing is LSU just can't LSU.
Hmm.
These are the games that they're supposed to win and that they end up losing somehow, and they just can't do that here. So I got LSU to win, LSU to cover. The prop that I have is Caden Durham under rush rec yards at 87.5. I feel like they throw the ball more here in this game than they do running the ball. Florida does also have a good run defense, so I feel like they'll kind of shut him down, so to say. And he's not really a go-to back in the passing game. He'll catch one, maybe two a game, and he'll get some yardage, but it's not going to be like anything explosive. And watch, I'm saying this now, and he's going to have like 5 catches for 100 yards in this game. Um, but yeah, I got LSU to win, LSU to cover, Caden Durham under 87.5 rush or rec yards.
And then we got another big time matchup going to South Bend. Carlos's favorite team, the Texas A&M Aggies.
I got what?
Carl's a big Aggie hater over here, so
Absolutely.
throw shade every now and then. But we got the Aggies going to South Bend. It's a huge matchup. Notre Dame lost early in the season, and they had a week 2 bye, so they got to get right. They got to get right. I honestly say it's a must-win game for their playoff chances, just because of the way their schedule is. They need a matchup on their resume that shows that they are a playoff caliber team. Or if they lose this game, they need Miami and A&M to be for real, so it just looks better. But with that being said, you know, Carlos, who you got?
Hey man, you already said it yourself, man. I'm a certified ag hater. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand them boys over there. But I actually do got them winning this game.
Okay.
Crazy as it is. And also, obviously, with them winning comes with them covering. So you can just, obviously you can't put money line and cover together. But whichever is your better odds, go ahead and go with that one.
Hmm.
Typically, it's going to be your spread. Or actually, no, it's going to be your money line because they're not favored. So go ahead and hit that money line. But I don't know. I think the biggest comparison, not a comparison, the biggest player to player wise is going to be like quarterback, or whoever has the quarterback here. And I think A&M right now has the better quarterback. Their offense is built to score. Their offense is built to move the ball downfield. They have the receivers, they have the running backs, they have a dual threat quarterback. Um, he's not the greatest with the deep ball, but he's good enough to where they could push the ball down the field 10, 15 yards and, just keep drives alive. He's good enough on his legs to keep the drive alive, keep the offense on the field. Um, I know that Notre Dame is known for their defense, and they had 7 and 11 guys return, but when your offense just can't get it going, and I don't think they will be able to, uh, defense being on the field the whole game just not a good look. It's gonna get them tired, and offense loves being on the field. Them boys don't get tired; they just want to go put up points. But I think this is gonna be a big win for A&M, big for their resume, and yeah, the I have 2 props here, both from the same player, both the Demons as well. Marcel Reed 200 yards passing, Marcel Reed 2 touchdowns.
I like it. I like it. And I'm right there with you, man. I think the Aggies get it done. I just think, I just think this is a game where they just match up well. I think their offense is a little bit better, the more polished. They actually utilize their skill players well, and I think they have a better quarterback. As of this point in time. So I got the Aggies winning. Couple player props I have on here is Jaden Greathouse over 29 and a half receiving yards. They got to get him involved, man. He's great. He obviously showed he can play in the playoffs. So I'm not too sure why he wasn't targeted much against Miami, but this is a game that they got to have it. So I look for them to kind of look at their game plan and try to get him the ball early and often. And then also Marcel Reed over 33 and a half rushing yards. He likes to run around a lot. I think Notre Dame will create some pressure and make him scramble at times. And I also think A&M will have some design run game for him as well to kind of utilize his legs in this game, because A&M knows as well how big of a game this is for them as well. So yeah,
they lost last year, so they want to get their get back.
Exactly. That's a good point as well. Last game of not the last game of the SEC, but another marquee matchup at night. We got Vandy going on the road to William Bryce Stadium and playing the South Carolina Gamecocks. And boy, this is, I think, one of the best matchups of the weekend. Both teams have a common opponent by week 3. You don't ever see that often. And, both teams got a lot to prove. South Carolina almost made the playoff last year, barely missed, got hot at the end of the season. Vanderbilt, they had some big wins last year, and they also played some good teams tough last year. But South Carolina hasn't lost to Vanderbilt in a long time, like a really long time. So will Vanderbilt be able to get over the hump? Will they be able to get over the hump? But I think they get over the hump this time. Another upset I'm calling. I got Vanderbilt going on the road and beating South Carolina. I think Vanderbilt, I just think they got something to them. I just think they got a little magic. I think they got a little moxie, a little confidence. And I think they're going to carry that win over from Virginia Tech, knowing what they just did on the road against them and against the same team that South Carolina played. You're going to take that into this game and be ready to go. And South Carolina, from an offensive standpoint, they got the receivers, they got the quarterback, but their offensive line doesn't look great, and they look like at times they struggle. So I think Vanderbilt just has just enough to get it done. And my player prop is Eli Stovers over anytime touchdown.
Nice. Man, yeah, no, I'm excited about this game, man. If you watch 54 yards, this is a game that just it's going to be electric. It's going to have fireworks. It's going to be fun to watch. Like Cam said, they had the same common opponent, and we're only in week 3. One beat the brakes off of them. One went to the wire. Is South Carolina the real deal? Are they a playoff team? Is Vanderbilt really the underdog anymore? You got Clark Lee, who's doing great things over there. You got Diego Pavia, who has a killer instinct, and no matter who you face him up against, he's gonna say he can go and beat them, and they're the better team. And then on the flip side, you have Shane Beamer, who is recruiting well, getting all the great pieces, has great young defensive talent, great young offensive talent, and they're creating a buzz. They should have made the playoffs last year, didn't, and now they're trying to continue and build and make the playoffs this year. This game's at night. This game's gonna be electric. 80 degrees, perfect weather. What do they play over there? Sandstorm or Dew Red or something like that?
Sandstorm, yeah.
It's
gonna be electric.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Cam. When music pump you up and you just kind of get going and it just sets that mood for you, and you got that dog and you got that look in your eye.
Yeah.
Once that song comes on,
Diego
Pavia ignites, baby. Come on.
Diego Pavia.
Get me Vandy to cover. Them boys are upsetting. I don't even know if it's an upset. I don't even know how Vandy isn't ranked.
This should be a ranked game for sure.
This is for sure a ranked game.
And SEC missed out.
SEC Network. What are we doing?
It's gonna be overshadowed by the Ford LSU game. But you know us, we're gonna be watching both. So we're gonna be locked in.
Man, if you got Diego Pavia on your team, you better bet on Vandy, man.
You got a chance.
They got a chance. They were down. They scored 34 unanswered points last week. They won 44-10. Something like that. 44-24.
Yeah, 44 to 20.
20? Come on, man. Give me Vandy. And my player prop is Nick Harbor, rec yards at 47.5. Do think South Carolina's going to have to push the ball down the field to score. And he's going to be their, big-time weapon. Fastest guy on the field, probably.
Yeah, I agree. Last but not least, we got the biggest game of the weekend at 2:30 kickoff on ABC. Georgia going on the road to Knoxville to play the Tennessee Volunteers. It's a big-time matchup. Tennessee, they haven't beaten Georgia, and I think the last time they beat Georgia was when Josh Dobbs threw that Hail Mary. Since it was the last time they beat them. So
Really?
crazy.
Wow.
You know how long that was when they had Butch Davis coaching and it bounced off the dude's helmet and all that. Yeah. So and he went on the field and was like, "Oh my God, we won." Yeah, that's been the last time Tennessee's
That's
beat Georgia. Kirby Smart has their number. And with that being said, Tennessee has also kind of gotten over the hump lately. They've beaten Alabama a couple times recently. They've beaten Florida here and there, right? This is the one they got to get. This is the third one that kind of, if you want to be in that upper echelon of, you know, the SEC, this is the one you got to have. I've been back and forth on this game a lot. I've been watching film, shout out Brick Austin, been watching some tape. It's a hard one to pick, but it's Kirby Smart, man. He gonna take you to them deep waters, and he gonna drown you. If anybody can get a team motivated, it's gonna be Kirby Smart. Now we know Gunnar Stockton and them haven't played good that well offensively, and Tennessee looks good offensively, but Tennessee has two starting corners out. I think this will be when Gunnar Stockton and those receivers that got paid all that money will have an explosive game. So give me them Georgia Bulldogs. Give me them to win, and I like Zachariah Branch over 47.5 receiving yards. I think this is the game where he gets loose. He runs by some of these DBs that they got, and he creates an explosive play. So I like Georgia, man. Give me the dogs.
yeah, man. This is a torn game for me. Just because, yeah, I want Tennessee to win, but also I don't because they ever since we joined, just the way they've been talking about us, and I hate Georgia, so I never want them to win. So it's like, man, I don't even know who to pick here, and I've seen it too many times. I said on 54 yards, man. I've seen it too many times. I'm sure y'all have seen it more than me, Tennessee. Y'all have seen it way more than me. You got to go with the man. You got to go with the best coach in America, as much as it pains me to say. Got to go with Georgia. Got to go with the Bulldogs, man. They don't care where they're playing. They're going to step up to the plate. They don't bring their A game. Um, this is nothing new for Kirby. He's going to have his team ready. He's going to have his team prepared. The biggest thing for Georgia has been throwing the ball this season, is what people are saying. I think this is the game where I think it's going to be a good balance of both, a good mixture of both. I don't think they're going to have to ask Gunnar Stockton to do too much, but I don't think he's going to do too little. Um, so I got Georgia in this game. I got Georgia. I'm gonna say Georgia to cover. They probably beat them by a touchdown. I know the spread's low; it's like 3.5. I think Georgia beats them by a touchdown. Um, and for my player prop, I want to go Gunner over 227.5. I want to, but I also want to go Joey Aguilar 2 touchdowns for a demon, which I feel like is possible. Um, I also want to go Joey Aguilar 224.5 passing yards demon, which I think I'm gonna go that one because I think that one's more doable,
Mm-hmm.
especially playing from behind,
Mm-hmm.
than it is the other one. So Joey Aguilar 224.5 demon.
All right, Carlos, you have an underrated game this week?
I did not have an underrated game. Did not look. Well, I mean, I guess it's. I mean, it's not really underrated. Uh, depends. But we got the Bobcats on the road, Arizona State, man. Bobcats just beat UTSA last week in an electric, high-scoring game. No defense in the second half. I can tell you that much. It was like score, 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 score. But Bobcats going on the road. They're 2-0. DJ Kenny is a great coach and has continued to keep impressing people these past 2 years. He's been there, back-to-back bowl wins, and I think they like to keep their foot on the gas over there. And then you have Arizona State, just came off a loss to Mississippi State. They have some question marks, offensive line. Their best receiver, if he could shut down, kind of where do they go? They're missing Cam Scatterbo in the backfield. The running backs, not the same as what you're used to last year. It was a lot easier to drive on teams and move the ball when you had Cam, and teams have to worry for that, whether that was him running the ball or whether that was him, catching the ball at the backfield. I'm pretty sure this game last year was a hard-fought game at Texas State. I think the score was close. I could be wrong, but if my memory serves me correct, I'm pretty sure it was a close game. And I think this game is going to be a close game this year again. I actually picked A&M, Texas State to cover the spread. The spread was like 18.5 or 16.5, something over there. But I think Texas State keeps it closer. But I do think Arizona State does pull it out. I was trying to go to the game, man, but I saw ticket prices, the plane ticket prices, and I was like, never mind, because bro, you could sit like on the bottom row for like $84.
Wow.
So I was like, kind of looking nice, but But yeah, that's my underrated game of the week. I don't know if that's an underrated game. I know we say Texas State a lot over here, but they're down the street. They're making noise, and it's always cool to see them guys shine because they've never been looked at as the joke of Texas football, at least for college wise.
100%. But yeah, that'll do it for chips and slips, man. We got a loaded slate, so make sure if you guys are tailing, let us know in the comments. Let us know, if you got any other picks. Let us know in the comments, and we're excited. Make sure you guys are locked in and tuned in. We're gonna be, I'll be live on Twitter tweeting my thoughts, and we'll be on the OPM Twitter tweeting some thoughts. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in, man.
Let us
Super
know
excited.
if I made you any money, man.
And yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Cam from Opinionated Sports.
It's your boy Los, as always. Welcome.
Boomer.